The first item on the agenda, we will not be discussing 100 Main Street. We just completed a joint workshop with the planning board. We'll be seeing that sometime again in the future. I've also been told 31 Maple Street is off the agenda for the evening.
Not off the agenda, but you should continue.
Oh, thank you. I make a motion we continue 31 Maple Street to the next meeting. Yeah, your seconds, all in favor, unanimous. Yeah, the next meeting, which is July 13th, will be canceled due to lack of a quorum. So we will be resuming the following, for the following meeting, which is the 27th, Ed, is that right? July 27th?
I believe that's it. I don't have a calendar handy, but
It's 2 weeks from then, so it'll be the last week in July. Let's see, where are we? We have 33 Livingston Avenue, garage. Anyone here from Livingston Avenue? No? Did we get any drawings for that?
Yeah.
We did?
yes.
Okay, we'll
I
put
believe
that.
69 Blanchard also asked to be put on the end of the agenda.
Okay.
So it'll be late. I
We'll
think
put
it's
33 at the end of the agenda. We'll put 69. Is anyone here for 2 Blanchard?
Yes.
Aye. Yeah. You know, under other circumstances, you could have been sitting there for an hour and a half.
It's always entertaining.
2 Blanchard, which is. This is the house with the long driveway.
Ed Marin, here representing 2 Blanchard. This is an interesting situation. The house can't be seen from the street, can be seen from the parkway, it can be seen from 3 backyards. So what I did is I took some pictures, but I think the location map is going to be what you're going to be looking at. We're going to be legalizing a covered front porch, which is right here, which has no increase of coverage because it's existing. The roof was existing. So what we have is just the front door, and we have another front door here. This is a non-heated space, so basically it's just a concrete porch with a stucco interior, and then sided to match the fascias were existing. Again, no increase of coverage, and can't be visually seen from the street.
Yeah,
It's a tough one. It's
I don't have any comments here. I think this is pretty straightforward.
you'll probably be seeing this again because it's a unique house that needs something. So I think what we have to do is move it along to get a buyer in here that wants to make it their own. And I just wanted to bring to your attention that
Yeah.
there's no,
Yeah, I
the
think.
driveway and garage is tough.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a very, very unusual site. I think this is pretty straightforward. We don't have any issues with legalizing this. Make a motion, we approve this as submitted. Yeah, your seconds, all in favor, unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Good night. '54 Parkway Drive, please.
Hi, how are you? David Yarnold and Fran Smith were the homeowners of 54 Parkway Drive. This project is to repair a foundation wall that has collapsed. If you've been on the aqueduct lately, going by our house, you've probably seen it. And it'll all be built according to existing, except instead of the current faux rock wall, we're going to put up a high-quality stucco exterior. Other than that, it's all as it is now, with improvements to the wall itself. better footings, better drainage, all of the things that caused it to collapse. We're going to fix all that. It's a 10-year-old house that we bought while it was under construction. The wall was finished when we bought it. It was a cinder block wall, and it didn't have adequate drainage. It didn't have adequate gravel behind it, and, pardon me, there were no footings, no concrete footings. And over time, moisture just, it caused a 10-year-old wall to fall onto the aqueduct. So, aside from building it the way that it should have been built in the first place, we're simply changing the exterior to that stucco finish that we gave him.
So this is, we were looking at this step,
The wall is,
so he's going from this faux stone to this stucco.
half of the wall is visible from the aqueduct. A third of it is less than 5 feet high. It has a nice curve to it, and in rebuilding it, we thought that the stucco would complement the rock that's on the house nicely.
I'm not a huge fan of faux stone. However, I mean, it's hard to see what style the house is in. I guess my only hesitation is with the stucco material, and I'm trying to get a feel for the other board members' thoughts about stucco. I mean, obviously, well, it's really too bad that someone built a wall just a few years ago and didn't drain it properly, and now you've got to rebuild one. You say, did you put in this stone, this, did you say it was initially built, it built a block, but it was faced with this?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It
you're
was
building.
built just of concrete block, but without rebar and without footings. We're also not big fans of this faux stone, and that's why we don't want to put it back up again.
I don't.
I will say that my concern is based on the 6'6" maximum height. I don't know where that happens in terms of the relationship to the aqueduct. In relationship to the aqueduct, I don't know where is the height.
Perpendicularly from the aqueduct.
So it's like
this is where it's tallest. Is that right?
Yes.
So around, this is the
Yes.
curved section.
Yes.
So it's a kind of stack.
Yes.
So as you come down here.
So
you get-
what's
That's about
my question is
3-4 feet.
3-4 feet.
That's from about a foot to 3-4
So it's
feet.
3-4 feet.
Raising up from here about a foot to about 3-4 feet, and then raising up as it goes back.
For me, it's an issue of landscaping. That's it. If you try to soften the wall, the stucco wall, it's an okay material, it's acceptable. However, when it gets to be,
Get to the big slab of
Yeah,
slab.
it's still a little monolithic.
yeah.
It does,
On a
and
certain scale.
we get that. So in the curve, there are a number of trees in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Very leafy.
that's something good.
Yeah.
So if you maintain some kind of hedge,
Yeah.
we are trying to protect the experience of the aqueduct.
Sure.
I don't know if you've been part of the prior meeting, and that's one of our main concerns.
Okay.
And as long as it's landscape and hedge, it's fine.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the color, I mean, I don't, the color's fine if it works well with your house, works well with the blue stone, and
I don't
I'm all
have-
for whatever color any of these tones, I think will work well, so I'm less
It's
concerned.
gonna age, it's gonna
Right.
be different in
Yeah,
time.
the faux stone didn't age well.
Scratches.
Falls off.
Okay, I
Okay.
think we're Any other? Fine. Okay, so I think that's pretty straightforward. We'll make a motion that we approve this as submitted, the stucco finish, this selection. I'm fine with this, I'm fine with any of the
Great.
other colors. You can keep that.
Yeah,
Do
good
I
luck.
have a Second? 50 seconds, all in favor, unanimous, thank you. Go on. Uh, 222 Judson. Do not assume that to be the normal case here.
I didn't know, was I supposed to have brought audio?
No, that's fine, we can,
I don't know if
old
that's.
fashioned way.
Well, I'm here for Mary and Kenneth O'Connor. Dan Sherman, landscape architect for Mary and Kenneth O'Connor at 222 Judson Avenue. We're making kind of a transformation with the landscape. We're changing the front. Presently, the front of the house, it's a gray clapboard house, that's staying the same. But there's the concrete stair that's kind of propped up on a stilt and then some steps that wrap around. We're keeping the same overall configuration, but it's going to be completely rebuilt in stone, extending the steps, making them all a little bit wider. And I didn't show the railings on this rendering because it made it kind of tricky to draw. But there'll be a black iron railing. And then the stairs go just in 4 steps and 4 steps and 5 steps and 4 steps. They kind of wrap through. Creating 2 planting terraces. One will be against the face of the house, which I felt looked like it really loomed up and was unsupported. So we have a stone wall that will hold up boxwoods and rhododendrons and azaleas and rather traditional foundation plantings. And then in the garden that wraps around, there's a Japanese maple tree proposed. It's here. And although this looks like a lilac, it's really going to be a tree standard hydrangea. And we're having an engineer now draw the construction drawings for these walls because they get sort of high, right near the proposed garage door, and this is proposed. That's part of this. Well, it doesn't have to be part of this. I didn't write that into the description, the garage door. So maybe we'll come back.
Is that going to be new?
Yeah.
Is it in the drawings? I mean, if it's in the drawings, I don't think we saw a house elevation.
It will be in the construction drawings. But to be honest, he has more plans for the house. He wanted also to add a portico, but we didn't have we haven't gone with an architect yet to do that.
Okay.
And I think he's considering adding dormers. So there'll be more for
So
that.
they'll be back.
Okay.
It's very pretty what it sounds like he's proposing, but I was just landscape, so we didn't do that. So but we don't need to include that.
So today, I know we're looking at a pergola,
In the
that's
back.
pretty clear. And it looks like we are also looking at retaining walls in the front
Yes, in the front and in the back.
and
Because the back slopes up, and Mr. O'Connor wanted to dig it out and make it terraced in the far back. I have a 3-foot wall and a 4-foot wall of real stone. And then there's a level area, and then I've got a grass ramp that wraps around, and another garden wall and a rock garden, trying to bring the levels down. The middle of the new flat backyard is exactly the contour that comes right through it. So what I'm scooping out in the back partly comes to the front, but there will be more removal. There's a net loss, some has to go away. And then he's a mason and a contractor, so this is affordable for him to do all this in real stone and do all this grading and excavating. And where we anticipate encountering rock, like ledge rock, I've made that into a garden in itself. I can spell it out. That's over here. There's some ledge rock poking out. There's ledge rock protruding right here. So I designed a garden, a stone stair to wrap around, and whatever rock we encounter will leave, so that becomes a feature. And that'd be cheaper than removing it, but I think it would look good too. And it's quite noticeable from all the windows in this new room. That's what you look at. So I want to to make a barbecue and a pergola, and then have this rock garden be its own feature. There's the flat lawn, here's the ramp that goes up.
It's very nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, I think it would be quite expensive if you weren't a builder and could do it himself, or with his own workers. It would have been a stretch. So we're up at the planning board on the 2nd of July to review the same application with them.
Well, I think, do you have a, can I see the colored images? It looks like you have a good rendering, the flip side that has of the front where you have the stone. So you're using a natural stone, do you know the stone type?
Well, it will be the Westchester ledge rock, probably from the Lake Avenue quarry. And it's the more kind of a predictable thing, but that's the most common one that we use.
And it has
We
a
don't
kind
want
of
anything
gray
that's
taupish tone like that, is that?
Yeah.
And it'll be similar to that, like roughly coursed?
Mhm. And the mortar will be raked deep in so that it will look fairly dry, but in fact, these upper ones are veneered on block, or on quarter block because it's so high.
Mhm.
But Mr. O'Connor will put on full thick stones, like 4 inches thick at least, 4 to 6 inches thick, and then rake the mortar back. And there'll be blue stone. All the paving is blue stone, and the walls are Westchester
Yeah,
granite.
see, the plan. It looks great, yeah.
It looks very nice.
That's great.
And I like the meandering walkway. It makes it much nicer than, having to climb up
It's quite a
ceiling
hike
steps,
up there.
so.
Yeah, very much. So Ed, what's in this application,
Walls in the pergola.
Walls in the pergola.
The entry is taken off,
Make a motion to approve it.
yeah,
What was taken on?
the entry.
well, I think the
Oh, the
entry
garage.
garage door, it was just not part of the set anyway, so it's not something we would approve of that. But I think we're all in favor of this, so I'll make a motion that we approve this application as submitted.
Second it.
Yeah, your seconds. All in favor, unanimous. Thank you.
Good luck. Can I get your card? I have someone who's looking for a landscape architect up in Chappaqua. They just called me today.
I was just in Chappaqua an hour ago.
Got it. Well, we have your title block too, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I see it. That's fine.
Can't hurt.
Thank you.
And do you happen to know if 69 Blanchard is?
I happen to know that 69 Blanchard had another appointment in Ardsley, and I believe it's the same presenter for 33 Livingston. I sent the text, telling them to hurry up.
Why don't we review the minutes?
We don't have any minutes.
These are one of those outside sheets.
Right? We're gonna have a telethon.
It's just improving the yard.
Well, it's the problem, I would be willing to review this without the applicant. However, there's some
Issues?
kind of confusion in my mind as to what exactly is being proposed here. It's not, this is for 69 Blanchard.
Okay.
There seems to be,
It's a covered entrances and some retaining walls,
what did I have?
which none of them is a problem.
Okay, well, we're waiting a few minutes for somebody to show up. There's nobody left here. This went very quickly tonight. Is Paul gonna be sooner?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a railing. I mean, what? I don't know, there's no drawing of the railing.
Oh, no, that's existing.
Let's just put it off to the next meeting. 5 minutes?
Maybe he intends it to match this. So the entrance porch is new?
Well,
No, this one,
no, it's
this
just the
one
two
is
side
new.
entrances.
I see,
This
this
one
one
and
is
the
new.
other one.
I think we're putting covers over the two side, little roofs over the two side entrances.
Yeah, I
which
mean,
are
that,
already, the door's already there. And a couple layers of patio with retaining wall and then fence.
The entrances are fine.
yeah, I have no issue with the entrances. There are some things called out, the proposed railing, which I don't see drawn, which is in that long section. There's a couple missing. There is a fence that's being added here. Just some items that aren't 100% clear, what we're actually reviewing and what we're not. So I have no drawing for 33 Livingston.
I think the fence is to match existing. There's some photos.
Yeah, I see the photos at the back.
What happened here was, this property owner acquired some property from the neighbor and just extending their patio and retaining walls over to absorb that.
That's on the right-hand side.
Yes,
So he bought a strip
yes.
from the neighbor.
It turned out, when he finished building his pool and patio, he had trespassed onto the neighbor's property. And we couldn't issue a CO. But then he ended up buying a strip of land from the neighbor.
Neighbor's in a good bargaining position.
Right.
Happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Where is this? This 69 Blanche Road. Do you know what it is?
Well, 5 minutes is almost up. I hear 5 minutes so frequently. 5 minutes becomes 5 minutes.